Black-skinned people are like undiscovered gems. They get their significance only when the real world gets to know more about them. The dark-skinned people belonging to Afro-Indigenous origin have expanded from Africa to the regions of the Pacific, Australia, and Asia over the years. Which are those indigenous groups that yet remain unacknowledged? What are those unique traits embodied within them that make them attractive? Are they still living in a world where legal rights are far from their reach? The indigenous people of Africa are groups of people native to a specific region before the arrival of colonists, and they were the ones who defined new borders and began to occupy the land. This definition is applicable to all indigenous groups, whether inside or outside of Africa. Groups and communities who claim this recognition are those who, by a variety of historical and environmental circumstances, have been placed outside of the dominant state systems. Their traditional lifestyle and practices still remains undigested to the objectives and policies implemented by governments, companies, and surrounding dominant societies. These tribal groups continue to live with the desire to be recognized, to be treated as a normal individual, and also urges the government to protect their human rights, enabling them to maintain the continuity of their individual cultures. Let's hook into the stories and lifestyle of some indigenous groups of the African lineage living in Asia, Australia, and the Pacific region. Australian Aboriginals group. They belong to one of the two distinct groups of indigenous people of Australia, the other being the Torres Strait Islander people. It has been conventionally pointed that Australia is the only continent where the entire indigenous population maintained a single kind of adaptation, hunting and gathering into modern times. There have been some claims that Australian Aboriginal people originally came from Asia via insular Southeast Asia and have been in Australia for at least 50,000 years. Aboriginal people had occupied and utilized the entire continent and adapted successfully to a large range of ecological and climatic conditions, from wet, temperate, and tropical rainforests to extremely arid deserts. More than 200 different Aboriginal languages were spoken, and most Aboriginal people were bilingual or multilingual. The largest entities recognized by the people were language-named groups, sometimes referred to by Europeans as tribes. The worldview of Aboriginal people tended to be expansive, with a perception of society as a community of common understandings and behaviors shared well beyond the confines of the local group. They are shaped by traditional beliefs, the disruption of colonization, religions brought to the continent by Europeans and contemporary. Most Aboriginal people today speak English and live in cities, and some may use Aboriginal phrases and words in Austrian Aboriginal English. Aboriginal people, along with Torres Strait Islander people, have a number of severe health and economic deprivations in comparison with the wider Australian community. Their legal right to attain national identity and major human rights have been neglected by the government and people of Australia, creating a more deprived and vulnerable state for them. Number 2, Dravidian Ethnolinguistic group. The term refers to the ethnic group who natively speak the Tamil language and trace their ancestry mainly to India's southern state of Tamil Nadu, the Union Territory of Puducherry, and to Sri Lanka. Genetic evidence suggests that the Dravidians originally came from the Horn of Africa. They possess a notably dark complexion and facial features that make them unique and more attractive. The Sri Lanka Kafirs refer to the very small ethnic group in Sri Lanka, who are descendants of African mercenaries, musicians, and laborers that marked their existence during the period of Portuguese colonial rule on the island. They live in pockets of communities along the island's coastal regions of Trincomalee, Batticaloa, and Negombo. The tribal group are said to be partially descended from 16th century Portuguese traders and Bantu slaves who were brought by them to work as laborers and soldiers to fight against the Sinhala kings. The Kafirs spoke a distinctive Creole based on Portuguese and the Sri Lankan Kafir language. Their cultural heritage includes the dance styles Kafringna and Manja, and their popular form of dance music, Baila. Music is another facet of the Kafir culture that has changed as the elders continue to hold on to their African traditions. Kafringa Baila is a popular form of Sri Lankan music created by the Kafir, which includes African, European, and Asian elements. Today, the total number of Kafir is estimated to be around 1,500 people. They can be found throughout the Sri Lankan island in various cities. 3. Papuans group. The indigenous people of Western New Guinea in Indonesia and Papua New Guinea, commonly known as Papuans, are Melanesians. West Papua, the western half of the island of New Guinea, and is distinct from the independent country of Papua New Guinea. It is home to around 312 different tribes, including some uncontacted peoples. The central mountainous region of Papua is home to the highland peoples, who practice pig husbandry and sweet potato cultivation. The lowland peoples live in swampy and malarial coastal regions and live by hunting the abundant game and gathering. Because of this diversity in which they take pride, many different styles of cultural expression have emerged. Each group has created its own expressive forms in art, dance, weaponry, costumes, singing, music, architecture, and much more. The principal livestock in traditional Papua New Guinea is the oceanic pig. The language Tok Pisin, once called Neo-Melanesian, has evolved as the lingua franca. And this has been the medium through which diverse language groups are able to communicate with one another. Survival is calling on the Indonesian government to end human rights violations and enter into dialogue with the Papuan people so that they are able to decide their own way of life and their future. According to you, what legal measures should be taken to make their existence vital and recognized? Let us know in the comment section below. Don't forget to subscribe to our channel for more content just like this, and be sure to hit that like button too.